Y'all like that beat?
Yeah, but that could be a tough situation.
Well, when it happens in basketball, everybody's like, "Oh no!"
I can jump on the. I'm not.
Well, last night.
What's up, and welcome to another edition of The Man Experience. As always, I am your host, Desmond Mosby. And as always, I got my brothers with me, the fellas. Fellas, say hi.
Hello.
What's going on? Hey.
Listen, I do apologize that I had to create a new link. Some things happen. Technology is not always my friend, or anyone's friend for that matter. But we are here for today's episode, to R&B or not to R&B. That is the question. And this episode is going to be a fun one. I truly believe it. So I'm not going to do my whole spiel that I normally do with the news and the weekend review. The only thing that I have to say about the weekend review is that my Tar Heels have made it in advance to the Sweet 16. So to all my Tar Heels fans, woo-hoo. Obviously, we lost the ACC championship. I will say that I must commend the North Carolina State. Got to commend them. Their coaches from my area. So if we had to lose to anybody, I'm excited that we lost to somebody that's from where I'm from. So big shout out. But my Tar Heels, hopefully they go all the way. Even if they don't, I'm just glad that they made it to the Sweet 16. Now, let's get into today's episode, to R&B or not to R&B. That is the question. My brother Nando wanted us to kind of have a lighthearted discussion, and I'm really interested in this particular topic because I am a music fan, and I'm sure that we've said on here several times, a couple of us are music fans. My brother Nando has mentioned countless times that music is, and especially live music is one of his passions. Like he loves it. So I think this conversation is going to be really, really good. A couple of us were born closer to the late 80s, but I'm sure we could certainly say, or at least that we have some idea of that music that came out in the 90s. That R&B music. To me, it was probably the last time that good R&B music or great R&B music was even ever in existence. I mean, there's some good artists out right now, but 90s R&B music, man, woo! It had me in my feelings sometimes. Like I was in kindergarten singing certain songs that I probably didn't know what they meant, but like they just sounded good. So I wanna certainly throw it to my brother Nando to take over the rest of this episode, to lead us in our discussion of today, episode 3, to R&B or not to R&B. That is the question. Nando, take it over.
So I know music can be really personal for some people. Now, I know it's not always lighthearted. So if I make fun of your songs, I apologize in advance.
Wait. No. Wait a minute. You're the
No
one.
apology at all.
You don't make fun of nobody's musical taste. That's me. I'm supposed to be the one that laughs at everybody.
I'm taking your lead this time. No. When I sat down to make my list, I realized just like how many '90s R&B songs, one that are out there, but two that I knew the lyrics to, and I don't think I realized how expansive it was, and to cut it to a top 5 was impossible.
Bro,
I just went with.
I had to make honorable mentions. I had to make a list of honorable mentions that literally could have been in my top 5.
Yeah.
And I'm still debating on whether or not this top 5 that I have is the top 5 that I want to go with.
Yeah. I got at least 4 songs in my honorable mentions that I could probably switch out, but I just had to it came down to the smallest thing of which one of these would I want to hear right now in this very moment, and that's basically what took me to the list.
I like that.
So I'm gonna start it off. Make it easy for everybody.
Okay.
Um,
Listen. So this was really going to be the factor that led me to whether or not I was going to change my songs.
okay,
Hearing
okay.
what y'all said, like what are they going to say, and what do I need to change to do something? So go
Yeah.
ahead, my brother.
So I'm gonna start with "Can We Talk," Tevin Campbell. I'll sing that song randomly throughout the day. It'll pop into my head, and I'll just sing it. It's one of my favorite songs, probably of all time. I know, like a lot of people think it's a stalker song, and it might be, but I can't help but love it.
Favorite line from it?
My favorite line would be, "Next time you come my way, I'll know just what to say."
Oh,
It honestly reminds me a lot of my wife because we worked together for those that don't know, we worked together for like 3 years. We're just friends. And towards the end of that 3 years is when I kind of realized that I was in love with her. And so to transition from being like, hey, we're friends, but I want to be more than friends, I was always like, how do I say that to her? Right. And so every time it was like, all right, next time I talk to her. Next time
just your explanation right there. Just your explanation right there has made me change one of my top 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Just your explanation surrounding your wife has made me change number 4 at least on my top 5.
Wow. That's big. That's big. So moving on, I know that Boys to Men definitely could be a polarizing group. Like there are so many songs that you could probably put from the 90s for them. But for me, it's probably one song that most people don't think about when they think of Boys to Men. My favorite song by them is going to be "Water Runs Dry." And
Is that on 2? Is that on 2 the album?
I don't remember what album that is on.
I
Maybe
think
that
so.
throw me out.
That's the
Is
song,
that
right?
the same one with on? That's the same one with on Bend the Knee, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll
It's a hell of
make
an
the
album.
biggest mistake of our lives. Don't do it, baby.
So but most people don't think about that song, and for me, it's more realistic than a lot of their stuff, right? Like my favorite line: "Some people will work things out, and some people don't know how to change."
Oh,
And
some
so,
people
yep.
work things out, and some just don't know how to
See,
change.
you know it all once you remember it, right?
But I like that part where it goes doom, doom, doom.
I didn't even. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Boys to Men is not on my list. They're on my
not
honorable
at
mention.
all.
He's on mine.
I don't have none of their songs on my
I
top
could see that.
5, and because of the groups that I was thinking of, Blackstreet, Boys to Men, Jodeci, Drew Hill, and I was just like, ugh. But I
There's a
can
lot.
respect that, brother. I can respect that. Okay.
So for my next one is a Blackstreet song, "Don't Leave Me." One of my favorites. Love that song. Absolutely love it. As soon as the music comes on, it puts me in my feels, right? Probably my favorite line for that one. My love, what is it? My love runs deeper than the ocean and sea. But if you
But
sail
if
away, you take the
you
centerpiece of
sail
me.
away,
Yeah.
you take the centerpiece of me. Fun
Yep.
fact, well, 2 fun facts, and I know my brother Nando knew both of these, or maybe he just knew one. One fun fact, obviously, is that Tupac used the beat "A Dream" by DeBarge a year prior for his "I Ain't Mad at You."
Yep.
But one other thing was that Teddy Riley actually paid homage to his God days in this song with "No Baby, No Baby, No Baby." Does anybody remember that guy song? No, Aaron Hall does it. Oh man, y'all keep talking.
All right.
I'm sorry.
And then to me, you can't talk about 90s R&B without Jodeci somewhere in that conversation. "Come and Talk to Me" is my favorite absolute Jodeci song of all time. And it also goes back to my wife, where it's like my favorite line: "You want to tell me your name? Let me play your game." And so It's not that we played games, but it was more like just going back. Like I didn't know how to play that game, how to transition from one level to the next. And then my list of honorable mentions are so long. Like I said, Ascension by Maxwell. Like that song. Should not realize you're the highest of the high. Like, love that song. Right. One of my favorite Maxwell songs. I mean, you got Babyface, BBD, Deborah Cox. Nobody's supposed to be here.
Ooh, BB Diddy.
My sister said, "Don't bring me into this."
That's my wife. For those who don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Poison was a quintessential song. Came out in the 90s, 1990s, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. I figured one of y'all would have that in your list. Oh, Drew Hill was going to be on mine too, Andrea, but the list is just so long.
It's too much. And Andrea, I will say that I do have Drew Hill on my list, but they were the replacement that I just talked about to Nando. When Nando made that comment about you all, I immediately changed one of my songs to a Drew Hill song. It's not 5 Steps, unfortunately.
Yeah, we could have probably done top 20 90s R&B songs, and I would still have people that I need to put on the honorable mention. Like I said, I didn't realize how expansive it was until I started making my list.
So the guy song was "Goodbye Love." Does anybody remember that song?
No, I don't remember that at all.
So in "Goodbye Love," Aaron Hall actually leads the song and comes on the song, and he's like, "No, baby, no, baby, no, baby, no," like they did in the Blackstreet song. So it pays tribute certainly to that. And Teddy Riley was able to do that because he was in both groups.
That's my list. I got like I said, I got a ton of honorable mentions. I go on for 15 minutes about that. So anybody want to go next?
I'll go next.
Yeah.
That's a strong list.
I'll go next.
All right.
My top 5. My number 1, Color Me Bad.
Let me ask y'all this to both of y'all. So when you say you're number 1, is this like number 1 in your ranking? Like
these are just my top 5 altogether.
Okay. So okay, go ahead.
All right, Color Me Bad. I Want to Sex You Up. Now y'all gonna have to help me because I'm not a lyric guy. I'm more of I'll sit there and I'll just sing the chorus and then I'm done after that. Then I'll just sit there and.
Sorry.
But I'm usually just bopping to the beat, so I'm really not a lyric guy. So you guys can help me with certain lyrics. But
a fun fact: in middle school, we had a dance, and this was the number one. This was a number 1 requested song for the dance, and the school refused to let the DJ play it because they didn't.
But I do like that second thing where it says, "Let me take off all your clothes."
Okay.
No reason. I just like to make it feel better.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Jamal was gonna come in, and I thought Jamal was gonna leave with my favorite line from that song is "A tick-tock, you don't stop. Instead of all tick-tock, you don't stop.
Disconnect the phone so nobody knows." Right?
Come inside, take off your coat, I'll make you feel at home.
Now let's pour a glass. Okay.
Lyrics.
Second one is Soul for Real, Candy Rain.
That almost made my list.
Yeah, that's a classic. That was on my sister Anaya's yesterday. She put them on there.
And I just like the hook on that.
I took it off at the last minute. I switched it out. Sorry, go ahead.
I like the hook on that. My love.
Of course.
Drew Hill, These Are the Times.
Ooh. Yeah, you've always loved that one.
Yeah, that's my favorite one by them.
I'm not on my list either.
Once again, I like the hooks. These Are the Times We All Live For.
My favorite line probably from that was, does he say, "Tear you up like Reese's Pieces"? No, tear you up in little pieces, swallow you like Reese's
Pieces. Come on, girl.
You know I need it.
Yeah.
It ain't supposed to be a thing. No.
We did a parody, didn't we? Do that? A
We
parody
did
to
do a
that?
parody about COVID. We did a parody about COVID.
Fourth one is MC Hammer. Have you seen her?
No, 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 no.
I just like his remix. I like his remix to it.
Tell me how you see her.
He said, "Have you seen her?" Fourth one, Aaron Hall, and I love two of them. I Miss You and Don't Be Afraid.
I miss you.
Yeah, I miss you.
Definitely, I miss you.
I Miss You is always going to take it for me. Simply because of the video.
Yes.
I'm talking to you, baby.
But I'm gonna tell you, Don't Be Afraid came on JJS a couple days ago, and I cranked it all the way up.
Have you seen him lately though? Like he is terrible. Like he is something else. Like I give him credit for being like the voice back in the day, but the stuff that be coming out of his mouth, he wild, yo. He wild. And I'll pose this to you all. There was a discussion about, or at least I think it was a YouTube video that basically came out and said that R. Kelly became everything that Aaron Hall was supposed to be, because they essentially had, when Aaron Hall came out, like he had that look, like that bald head and the shades, and that was him. But Kelly ran with it. R. Kelly ran with it, and so I don't know, but that was an interesting video that I watched on YouTube. But that's a dope list too. That's a dope.
But I had 3 honorable mentions. One honorable mention is "Lately" by Jodeci.
Jeez.
"Last Night" by As Yet.
Mm.
And my third one is the Shy song.
Do
That one.
Got you. Okay.
So those are mine.
Every song y'all name, I'ma sing. I promise y'all.
I figured you would.
Yeah, you can sing. We won't.
I'm gonna sing.
Hey,
I love the 90s R&B.
Fernando.
Yeah.
What about Self-Destruction? Or was that too early?
Self-Destruct. Wait, bye.
I'm talking about the first. Was that 80s or was that early 90s?
I want to say that's 80s. I might be wrong though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was 89.
Oh, right on the. Okay.
I think so. I think it was 89. Yeah.
We're gonna put that in the 80s.
All right, I'm done.
We could have a conversation about 80s next time though.
Oh, I got that. I got that.
Listen, I'm choosing Guy. I'm choosing all kinds of stuff.
I'm doing Lionel Richie in it.
I mean, New Edition was 80s towards the
New
to
Edition
the
was
end.
it. You can name the whole.
You have a top 5 New Edition.
You can. Somebody could literally say for the 80s, these are my songs, and they all be New Edition songs. Literally.
As I said, I'm like you, Fernando. I could have gone on days. I could even went to NSYNC, Gone.
But the truth remains, you're gone. Can I say something about them? Justin probably shouldn't have been the one that blew up the way he did. The one that blew up the way that they should have been, what was his name? Was it JC?
Lance?
Nah, JC.
Hey, Lance.
I didn't really listen to him, but Andrea tells me all the time it should have been that he has a better voice.
It should have been JC, and he still has the better voice.
She chimed in.
Day. Like he literally, they did a concert, or Justin's doing a concert, and he brought them on stage recently, and JC he still got it. I guess he just didn't have the look that they were looking for, and so that's why they pushed JT, unfortunately. But JC had the voice, man. That dude.
Timberlake's new song is nice.
That dude could blow. My sister said he can sing. That boy can go. Blakefish, me?
I go next.
Oh, okay. All
right, so I thought long and hard on mine. You know, I, as a videographer, I liked music videos too, so a lot of them also went into this as well.
And they were big back then.
So Adina Howard, freak like me. I love the music video on that. I remember.
I'm sure you did.
Yes.
I saw her live.
Did you?
I saw her live in Roanoke a couple of years ago, and she looks out in the audience. She's like, I want somebody to come on stage. I think she was doing the t-shirt and panties. And she's like, I want somebody to come on stage, a guy to come on stage, and I'm going to sit him in a chair and I'm going to dance. And I immediately looked at Tanisha. Tanisha's like, nah, buddy. And so I just had to sit there and watch the other guy have a I guess a decent time in what was happening. But I saw her. It was her, Christopher Williams, H-Town. It was only two of them because one of them has died. And I think it was Case. Saw all four of them in Roanoke.
Ooh, that's a good concert.
Yeah.
Boy, was it.
H-Town almost made my list for, what was it, Knocking the Boots?
Somebody knocking at the
See here. I will also go with Drew Hill, but I will go with a song from the Rush Hour track, which is "How Deep Is Your Love for Me." Yep.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
So, yeah, and interesting enough, in the DVD, I remember having the DVD, but that was in one of the extras, was all the music videos. So I remember playing that over and over again. It was a pretty good music video.
Yeah, I had that DVD. I remember that.
Yeah. So that would
Didn't they
be
make a rap remix to it too? Like there was a couple of rappers got together. I think did a remix to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it was Redman, if I'm not mistaken. Had a verse on it.
He did?
I might be wrong. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Never
I'm
heard?
excited.
Okay. And then I will go with also Fernando said Boys to Men. I think 2 was one of my first albums that I had, which is Water Runs Dry, All Around the World. I think I'll Make Love to You, On Bended Knee, but I'm going to go with Vibin'. I don't know if you've heard of that. That was one of my favorite songs. Just take a minute and catch the vibe. Put your mind at ease. Just catch the vibe. I love that album, but that song specifically I played over and over. I remember on my Walkman. Believe it or not, I haven't seen one of those in forever, but can't believe that they still exist. But yeah, so that's one of them. Heavy D, Now That We Found Love.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't even think about that one.
Yes.
That video is burned into my brain because
Yes.
I've watched it so many times.
Yes.
I love
that bass line.
I love that song.
It's a good song.
The bass line
I
got
also loved Got Me Waiting, Anticipating. Hey yo, you got me thinking. Heavy D was the man, yo.
Yeah.
I like Overweight Lover.
We said it.
And then I'm going to go with Jamon. You probably should know this since I love this song. Joe, All the Things Your Man Won't Do.
Fish can sing that word by
I knew
word.
somebody was going to bring that one up.
I'd say somebody had to pull that one
Fish
out.
can sing that word by word.
But Jamon, you specifically know.
Oh yeah, I know.
And then for any honorable mentions, I thought, What About Your Friends? I like that from TLC.
Okay.
Silk, Freak Me.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are two of the honorable mentions. That Jagged Edge, Keys to the Range.
Fish got a nice list, man. All
Okay,
y'all-
Were there
list.
any songs that you wanted them to have a video to that they didn't?
I see. Silk Freak Me was good. I'm trying to think. No, not at that. Yeah, not at that age. I just, like I said, I just remember MTV Jams playing Adina Howard over and over again. I was like, this is a damn good song.
You got great list, Fish.
Thank you. So,
All right.
All right.
Blake, Dez, which one do you want to take it?
I'll go ahead and go.
All right.
Go fast.
Yeah, because I might be long because I got like years that my songs came out and everything. So
yeah,
the albums, everything. Like
in case we fact check you.
Yeah, so you can fact check me.
Try to pull a fast one and bring on.
Everybody get ready for my certified Billboard chart status and stuff like that too. So
all right. I'm not gonna front. I don't have all the lyrics together for mine.
That's fine.
I do have the songs.
I'm gonna come in with
it. All right. So this is in no particular order. I got Faith Evans. I remember.
I remember.
see, Jamal will hop right in.
I'm gonna help you, D.
You don't even need to sing, Blake.
I'm gonna help you, D.
No, I know somebody got me out of these. Keith Sweat, Make It Last Forever.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Make it last forever. Don't let our love be.
Love that one.
Let me tell you.
New Edition, Tell Me When Will I See You Smile Again.
that is your song.
That's the song.
Like that is your you played the snot out that song when we worked at Westover. Like you played that song. Tell me when I see you smile.
Yeah.
Didn't Johnny sing that part?
Huh?
Didn't Johnny sing that part?
Sing that part?
No, I don't think that was Johnny. I think that was was that Mike? Or Ricky?
I'm not sure.
Ricky Bell or Mike Bivens? I bet my sister know.
Yeah, I'm sure Andrea could tell us.
I know she could, Andrea. Who was that? Was that Michael Bivens or Ricky? Blake, you know that chorus. You used to sing that chorus. Give us a little line from the chorus at least.
No.
I'll help you. I'll be your backup, sir. I got you.
Come on.
I'm gonna go to the next song. All right, there's same situation with the last song that I just mentioned. Mary J, My Life.
My life, my life, my life.
My life. If you look at that,
He loved that song too. He loved
They
them
skip
two
that.
songs. You can't. She said she can't remember y'all. Like he played the snot out of that New Edition song. But Mary J, he'll talk to me about Mary J. Blige all the time. I'm more of a share my world kind of guy, but I get it.
7 Whole Days, all that. That's not on the list. That could be an honorable mention.
7 whole days, that was the song.
Yeah. And see, I was slick low key a little mad because Fish took one of mine. I had Joe All the Things on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Nando took one of mine. Nando actually took 2 of mine, and so then I changed one.
Honorable mention, Aaliyah 4-page letter. Ooh. I like that. And then also Red Light Special TLC.
Yes. Yeah.
That was
the other one for TL. Yep.
Yeah.
Another dope list.
It's a hell of a video too.
Listen, I gotta, because I can't let us go on without singing Blake's song. Here you go.
The video is.
Girl, you see that I apologize.
Tell me what to
do.
Hold on, I got my part. To get through to you.
Girl, it's not the same.
I know.
I know I was to blame. Sorry.
Tell me when will
We're
I
gonna have fun with this episode. I'm
do
mad
you
that y'all ain't
smell?
singing more than
It's not smile. It's do you smell?
All right, before you go, Des, I got a question for you, or for everybody. I asked Andrea this earlier in the week. Not currently, but before, were you Monica or Brandy?
Brandy.
Brandy.
I was Brandy, but as I've grown, I'm Monica. But I was Brandy.
I was sitting up in my room, Brandy.
Yeah, man. Brandy had some hit, man. Sitting up in my room. I will say this: Brandy had the better songs. Monica had the better voice to me. To me. And I will also say, I love that. What's that Monica joint? Baby, tell me what's up. What the first night? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, first
I
night.
love that joint.
Hey, what's the name of that girl that sang that Rugrats song? What Monica or Brandy? What was the name?
Maya.
That's right.
Don't disrespect Maya.
I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't. I just didn't know.
She's a princess.
Take
Tanisha,
me
don't be mad.
back.
I could hear Andrea yelling something in the other room. I can't tell if she's upset or happy. It was something about the music when you were talking about Brandy.
She must be saying that. I'm gonna hear it. She'll probably put it in the chat.
I'm surprised she hadn't said anything yet.
But I can respect both of them. But The Boy Is Mine.
Oh yeah.
Can y'all confirm this? The Boy Is Mine was actually Monica's song.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But there was a whole thing, and did it end up on both of their albums?
Oh, that I don't remember.
She said, I'm gonna be quiet. I don't want you to be quiet. I want you to chime in, sis. I want to hear it. All right, y'all ready for mine? Here we go. And I'm gonna do my sister justice because ain't nobody mentioned my sister's favorite artist of all time.
I wasn't even gonna try to, because if I said the wrong song, I might be sleeping on the couch. So.
Oh, I know. I know it's not the right song. I know it's not the right song, but it's my favorite song of hers, or at least one of my favorite songs of hers. So I've actually did these in order, from my number 5 to my number 1.
Okay.
Number 5, I have "I'm Your Baby Tonight" by Whitney Houston, which was released October 2nd, 1990, from her third studio album, "I'm Your Baby Tonight." Considered actually one of her best songs in retrospect. So in retrospect, when people look back at it, they're considering this one of her best songs. Was written by L.A. Reid, the powerhouse of L.A. Reid, and Kenneth Babyface Edmonds, who many of us have mentioned some of their songs that they've also written for other artists.
They also have
number
their
1.
own
Go ahead.
publishing company, right? LaFace is that?
Yep, LaFace, baby. It went number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. And my favorite line from that is actually the bridge. And I was talking to my sister yesterday, and she was saying, I think we both had it in our minds that we didn't know what Whitney was saying at the time until I actually looked the lyrics up. And now I'm able to do it actually when she sings it. She says, "Looks like I'm faded with all on the table, and baby, you hold the cards. You got the magic, and I've got to have it. I don't want the pieces. I want every single part." That is my part of that song. Y'all, listen. I know we talked one time.
I'm pretty sure I hear my wife singing along with you right now.
Is she singing it?
I can't tell. It sounds like it.
Listen, I gotta say this. We mentioned one time before, what is one song that you are ashamed of singing and blasting out on your radio? This would be one of them, because I will literally, my windows will be down and I will have this song cranked up to the max and singing that part at the top of my lungs. So that's my number 5. My number 4 was originally "Don't Leave Me" by Blackstreet. But my brother Nando encouraged me to change that when he was talking about, how the one song for him, inspired, or at least kind of led to the blossoming of the relationship between him and my sister. The song that did that for me was one song that I was listening to heavily when I was trying to court Tanisha. And Jamal remembers this whole, he doesn't remember the song, but he remembers, you know, probably me coming to him and telling him, look, I like this girl. I don't know what to say, but this song was always on my playlist. If my god brother Stacy was watching, he would understand. And it is a Drew Hill song, but that particular Drew Hill song is Beauty.
Woo,
Boy,
woo.
I listened to that song, and like Nando said, he said in his song there was that it was telling him when that right time was to talk, right? And for me, Beauty was walks by me every day.
Mm.
Her and love are the same. The
Oh,
feeling has stolen my heart, and Beauty is her name. And I was singing, listen, I was so corny and cheesy back then. There is a recorded tape, VHS tape of me in my bedroom with my god brother and our good friend doing a music video to this particular song. And I got on this black and gray silk shirt and it's open, and I got on my head wrap, and we're in the video and I'm doing all the hand motions. There is a tape because that's how much I was feeling that song, especially during the time when I was going after Tanisha. So Tanisha, Beauty, that's my song.
my favorite line from that Desmond is, "Mine eyes have seen the glory."
Mine eyes have seen the glory in the coming
Coming
of
of
your
your
smile.
smile.
Yep. Number 3, You Make Me Wanna by Usher.
Ooh.
Released August 5th, 1997 as the lead single off of Usher's second album, My Way, was written by Mr. Raymond
Another good one.
himself, Jermaine Dupri, and Manuel Seal Jr. The line that stands out to me the most: what's bad is you're the one that hooked us up, knowing it should have been you. This song actually reached the top 10 on the Billboard 100 and topped the U.S. R&B charts. Number 2. Now, I had a debate with my sister about this particular artist yesterday to see what people thought. Was she better with R. Kelly or was she better with Timbaland? When did she make her best music? She probably made her better songs with R. Kelly, but I believe that with Timbaland was when she actually became an international superstar. And that artist is Aaliyah. And my song that I've picked is Are You That Somebody? I love that song. Released May 26, 1998, actually from the Dr. Dolittle soundtrack. Are You That Somebody was written by Static Major and Timbaland. Initially, it was not eligible to chart on the Billboard Hot 100, but it peaked at number 21 when Billboard changed its rules in December of 1998. So it wasn't allowed to chart because of the simple fact that it wasn't necessarily a single, right? Like at the time. And then Billboard changed its rules in 1998 and it peaked at number 21. So it could have done probably better had the rules. Go ahead, Nando.
Wasn't that on a movie soundtrack?
Yeah, the Dr. Dolittle one.
Yeah.
Did you just say that and I missed it?
Yeah.
I'm sitting here, I was like, wasn't that on a movie? And you were saying it while I'm thinking.
Yeah. So I love that song. And my favorite line from that is, boy, I be watching you like a hawk in the sky. And obviously, and boy, won't you pick me up at the park right now, up the block while everyone sleeps. And who could forget? Probably the classic line that served all of us good during that time. Timbaland coming on, baby girl. I'm the man from the big VA. What you gonna play around my way? That chilled it for me. I was walking around school at the time saying that line I'm from VA. Go ahead now. I was killing it. Last but not least, this is a song that my brother Nando picked. It is my number one song. And it is my number one song because I think it is the song that really defines the 90s. It really is the quintessential 90s song to me. It came out in 1990. And I like when Nando said it, I was like, yep, I mean that confirms it. It is Can We Talk by Tevin Campbell. This was from his second album, I'm Ready. It was written again by Kenneth Babyface Edmonds. Babyface was all over the place in the
I'm
90s.
surprised nobody had him on their list. He's on my.
I am too. But I want to say it's because probably most of the songs that he sang were in the late 80s. He did more writing, I feel like, in the 90s. He had some songs, but I think when we think of Babyface, we think probably of his late 80s music more so than we do. Because when
Can I See You
Whip
Again is
Appeal?
definitely in the 90s.
When is Whip Appeal? Yeah, see, Whip Appeal was 1989. And so that whole Tender Lover album was around that time. So I guess that's why I didn't pick much of Babyface's songs, but he was killing it on the writing side.
Yeah.
Just killing it. This song actually peaked at number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100 and spent 3 weeks at number 1 on the US R&B chart. My favorite line, and just like a Roni, you were too shy, but you weren't the only, 'cause so was I.
And
Yes. Honorable mentions. I gotta throw in a Jodeci song.
You have to, right? Like you just
but
got
I'm torn between two that aren't like necessarily their most popular songs, which would be Stay or Love You for Life. So I'm torn between those two.
Ooh, love you for life. Love you
I
for life.
love those two. I also have on my list, my honorable mentions list, John B, Calling on You.
I thought about John B.
And not necessarily one of John B's more popular songs. Again, probably his most popular song was, well, one of his most popular songs was another Babyface song, Someone to Love. But when I play Calling on You religiously, it seems like now. Like I'll be just one day just sitting in my room and just put on John B Calling on You. Genuine. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say really quick to tie in, talk about Tevin Campbell and Babyface and how many songs he wrote, and your line about just like a Roni. You remember the Bobby Brown song, right?
My heart.
Yeah, that was also written by Babyface.
Yeah, and it was a popular line at the time.
Yeah.
And Babyface was able to just maximize it in so many ways, right? Like just get the most out of it. Like
I mean, he probably that line, that word, or he might be credited with spreading it everywhere
from those two songs.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, I have Genuine, So Anxious, Brandy, I Want to Be Down, SWV Week. And I had to go.
Somebody would have Week in their top 5.
I had to go with
Pony.
This song. You said or Roni?
No,
Pony. Oh, yeah. And see, Pony's not even my favorite Genuine song. So Anxious is. And I just saw him in Lynchburg at the Academy. And everybody else was all cheers and standing up every song he sang. I was all cheers and standing up. But when So Anxious came on, I became a girl. I was literally singing every word, and I was mad because he only sung it for a brief period of time. He went, so 9 o'clock, all alone, paging you, and then went right to the next song. So I was hot. But I love that song. And the last honorable mention I have is In Vogue, Don't Let Go. From the Set It Off soundtrack. That song. Whew, and every time I think about it, I just think of, that's why Jada Pinkett is the way she is now.
Yeah.
I never liked In Vogue.
What?
They had
You
some
never
good
liked the
stuff.
Funky Divas?
Only song I like with them was the main one, Hold On.
You crazy?
Look,
Is that here you go to my Jada Pinkett line, sis? Sorry. No, I love the Funky Divas. I had a crush on all of them. Apparently, my mom will tell you that. She'll be like, Desmond, when you was younger, you would sit in front of the TV because they did that episode of A Different World where they were the nerdy nieces to the guy, and he was trying to turn them into a singing group, and they came in and they sang that one song. I was in love with them girls. But
You know who I had a crush on? I had a crush on Chili from TLC.
I think everybody had a crush on Chili from TLC.
I think Chili is so cute still.
Usher had a crush on Chili from TLC, and then made a whole album about her. No, I'm just playing. That one about her. There's another song I got to give an honorable mention to, and if I don't say this, my mom, if she was ever watching, she would lay into me. There was a song that came out in the 90s that was a big hit for me. She would come in my room and I'd be on top of my bed singing it to the top of my lungs, and it was this song right here. When I try to tell you so, and I guess you didn't know.
Mac Morrison.
As I had a story go, baby, now I got to go. Cause I know it from the start. Baby, when you broke my heart, that I had to come again and show you that I win.
Everybody, you lied
to me. Mark Morrison, Return of the Mac. My mom would kill me if I didn't say that song.
I love that song. It's one of my favorites.
Who you telling?
Talking to another honorable mention I forgot to bring up, but it also has a funny side note. I think I mentioned it before. Ask of You. Y'all know that one?
Oh, that's all I ask of you.
But Mike or Fish reminded me because on Apple Music you can watch the video and hear it, but you can't play the song and hear it. You can only see the video. And the music will play with the video, but you can't just listen to the video. I mean, the song by itself.
Wasn't that song in Higher Learning?
You said, was that the song in Higher Learning?
Yeah. Doing the love thing between.
I can't remember. It's been so long since I've watched that.
What I thought.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I watched it too, but I just remember that being a good song, and I just remember them being a good group. Not to mention, because my mom brought them up yesterday, and they were talking about Feels Good, and I mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, not that one, but I've been thinking of you. Since the first day I ever laid my eyes upon your face, I knew you'd be mine. Nobody had Mint Condition. Nobody had,
Mint Condition, that was a group. I'm sorry.
They had some songs in the 2000s that I loved. I love Mint Condition, man.
Let me ask you guys this, because a couple of you had songs on the soundtracks. What happened to those? Those aren't big anymore. I'd say, in the 90s, I remember my mom bought the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack just for Whitney Houston. But like they've just kind of like, fall. I'd say I can't remember like the last good musical soundtrack, within the last maybe 10 years outside of maybe Black Panther that I could think of.
Yeah, they really fell off. As far as Spider-Man, like the animated one, Miles Morales,
had a dope
pretty
one.
Good.
Yeah, that was a pretty dope one. That was really good. That was really good. I think what it boils down to in a lot of cases is who you choose to be that executive producer of that particular album. That I think that has a lot to do with it. Because I mean, in some cases, you might pick somebody that's that's trash. In some of those cases where it was a good album, the person that they picked to executive produce knew what they were doing, right?
Yeah.
Like, and knew who to bring together and all of those pieces. Like what the Batman album, Prince did that one.
That video, I'm sure, is burned into everybody's mind.
Absolutely. There's a I don't know if you all have ever heard of this movie or seen this movie. There's a movie called Down in the Delta. It's got damn, what's her name? Oh man. Anyway, it's a movie called Down in the Delta, and really what it's about is about this mother who lives in Chicago, and she ends up having to move to her uncle's house, who lives in the South, to escape basically, the harsh life of Chicago, and not allowing her children to end up in the gang life or shot or dead or anything of that nature. She is living her life kind of messed up too, doing drugs and stuff like that. But she moves down there, and there's a whole historical aspect from it where you learn that there's a candelabra that is in the family. And the candelabra's name is Nathan. And the reason the candelabra's name is Nathan is because because when the family came over here on the ship, the father had been sold away, and the father's name was Nathan. And so they basically used this candelabra to represent the father that had been sold away. Anyway, long story short, it was probably one of the last dope soundtracks that I've heard. My mom played the legitimate. She played that album, and it's got Ashford and Simpson on it. It's got Michelle Indicello. If y'all are familiar with her. It's got a couple of artists. It's got a lot of people on it, but it's one of the last dope albums that I've ever heard from a motion picture. So Alfred Woodard, you're exactly right. Have you seen the movie, bro?
No, I haven't. Andrea sent that to me to let you know who it was.
Has she seen it?
I don't know.
I mean, I love the movie, but I think I love the movie because
I
love the
I heard her
soundtrack.
yell, duh. Okay, so
yeah, I love the movie because I love the soundtrack so much. The soundtrack is so powerful. But yeah. Good question, Fish. Good question.
It's not the same anymore. I just remember like 8 Mile in the early 2000s, like Friday, Empire Records, Batman. One of the Batman ones I remember was pretty good with Seal.
Crow, the original Crow, like that had one of the best soundtracks. Queen of the Damned.
With
Aaliyah. With Aaliyah. I still listen to that soundtrack.
She had a couple.
They're just not existing anymore,
right?
What's that?
Go ahead, Fish. I'm sorry.
Oh, all I said was that they just don't exist anymore. They're not as marketed.
Nah. And I think one of the other pieces was in a lot of those cases, like you had the artist that was the star of the movie who led a lot of those songs. How many songs did Whitney have on the Wait Until Exhale soundtrack?
All I know is Exhale, Shoop Shoop. I'm trying to think what else. My mom literally got that just for Whitney Houston.
Why Does It Hurt So Bad? She had a couple, and then you had people like Toni Braxton on there, Aretha Franklin, and I'm mad that I didn't choose a Toni song. Everyone knows that's my second wife. Sorry, Tanisha.
Oh, I thought of you were talking earlier about songs that you're embarrassed to sing out loud. I thought of one, and it's a 90s R&B song by High Five. I Like the Way.
The Kissing Game?
The Kissing Game. Yep. I'll look around, roll my windows up.
Dude, I won't even look around. I'll just ain't nothing to be embarrassed about that song.
I love that song.
I got another question. Maybe you guys, do you guys ever talk to your, parents about music? Say like, because we all grew up in the 90s listening to this. And then do you ever talk to your parents about, what they grew up at and like, their generation and how obviously it's different? And
I'll talk to my mom, but my mom goes way back to like, I'm talking about she like Jackie Wilson and
Ooh, my
uh,
heart is crying, crying.
yeah,
Lonely
yeah,
teardrop. Look, I can go back. Look, don't
yeah,
touch me with.
that's one of her favorites is Jackie Wilson. She'll go back to the mashed potato and go back to Otis Redding and all them.
Don't
That
test
that's
me
her.
with Otis. Don't test me with Otis.
I know. And she'll go
Like
back to the Rondelets and all them. That's her era right there. Because when I start talking to my mom about that, she don't really. I mean, she'll understand the Earth, Wind, and Fire in that age that I'm at right now. But if I go and I'm like Drew Hill, she'll just look at me.
No.
Yeah.
yeah, that it's similar with my mom. So a lot of the stuff I listen to kind of spills over from her. She was a big like Motown fan, like Blue Magic, The Intruders, um, Marvin Gaye, like all that stuff. That's what she listened to. And so, there's that meme like when you wake up and you hear the Miracles playing, it's time to clean, right? Stuff like that. Like that was my mom to a T. And so like I have a Blue Magic album of 45 sitting over here that I listen to. I got Tracks of My Tears on a 45 that I listen to. Uh
Smokey.
yeah, Smokey. Yeah. So like I talk to her, the same thing happens though, is I'll mention something newer
Yeah.
or she actually worked at a casino as an usher and they would have bands or not bands, R&B singers come through all the time, like Boys to Men and stuff like that. And she knows them, of course. But other ones, she was like, "Do you know them?" I'm like, "I'm surprised you don't."
Yeah.
Like it seems like they get to a certain point and then just the rest of the music don't matter anymore. And so I'm wondering, will that happen to me? Like right now, I still like some of the newer stuff.
I don't have that experience. And I guess for me it's because there's literally a 16-year difference between my mom and I. And so especially as it relates or pertains to the 90s, because we can
Yeah,
relate because during the 90s, she was literally going to the club. And so these songs that we're talking about right now, these were the songs that she was like dancing to. And vibing to and moving to and grooving to and all of
yeah,
those pieces.
Yeah.
Um, um, and I personally have a tendency to like a lot of the new stuff. So I don't even have those necessarily conversations with her when I'm talking about anything in particular that's new. But yeah, I mean, when we're talking about, listen, when I brought this episode up to them yesterday, like she just started pulling out stuff on her phone. Like she was just like she like I mentioned "Can We Talk" as my favorite Tevin Campbell song, and then she brought up we go out when we want to, but the world still goes around and round. Like she pulled that up on YouTube and it's like, nah, this is the Tevin Campbell
yeah.
song, right? Like so I enjoy being able, I guess, to have that conversation with her, especially as it pertains to music from the 90s and even in some cases the 2000s, because even her tastes then are still kind of almost in alignment, or at least she knows or is familiar with some of the artists that I even listen to. So
Yeah.
I guess my experience is different because of that.
I gotcha. Yeah, I just remember listening. I think it was like something with Run DMC when I was a kid, and my dad was like, "That ain't mute. Let me show you." And then he would pull out he pulled out James Brown, and he was like, "I was listening to this as a kid. This is music." So I know
Now,
my dad loved James Brown, Otis Redding, doo
what
wop.
I
So yeah,
appreciate, what I appreciated about what my mom's did though was like she kind of, I wouldn't say she exposed me to like your Otis's and stuff,
yeah,
but I remember my grandparents had records. I like they had records, but it was forbidden for us to listen to any of them records. They got a classic record player that is in their house and still in their house right now. And they had all kinds of records. And it was always me wanting to listen to these songs, but they would always be like, no. And my mom snuck one day and brought me into the room that you're not supposed to go into in your grandma's house, where the furniture, you're not supposed to sit on it and all of those pieces. And my mom put on Otis Redding sitting on the dock of the bay. And I listened to that record and I heard that whistle and I heard that song, and I immediately fell in love and wanted to hear Otis Redding, whatever else he had out. So I attribute her to even maybe so my love in, you know, previous artists, because she kind of helped to expose me to it.
Yeah, my mom definitely exposed me to all those like Marvin Gaye, Temptation, stuff like that. I think I've told this story before. Two of my favorite songs are "Tracks of My Tears" and "Sideshow." "Tracks of My
Mm.
Tears" by Smokey, and then
Okay,
"Sideshow"
yeah.
by Blue Magic.
Mm.
Yeah, and so she said when I was a kid, I took two of her 45s, those two, and used them as skates and broke. And I just think it's so funny that, you know, decades later, they're like two of my favorite songs of all time. But she
This-
definitely, you know, forcefully exposed us to that type of music. Because where else would I have come in contact with it, right?
absolutely,
Otherwise, you know, there's
absolutely.
it's not music, like I said, is very personal. So you start to fall into your habits of what you listen to. You don't get exposed to a lot of stuff. And so I'm very thankful that, um, you know, I was able to experience a lot of that older music because I probably wouldn't know a lot about it otherwise. You know, and you can, in artists, like I listen to everything. I've talked to you guys about this. I listen to punk rock, I listen to R&B, rap, hip hop, everything. And you can see a lot of influences across the
Genres.
genres, even between them.
Yeah.
You know, I'll listen to I don't know, there was a recently Method Man was talking about some songs he came up with, and he was talking about like where his influences came from, and then the
Hey,
inverse of that,
you get off my cloud.
right?
I
And the
saw that.
inverse of that, Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters was talking about some of his influences, and he said he remember he stole like a drum line for I
Riff,
can't remember
yeah.
what I can't remember what R&B song it was, and he was like, and the guy ended up at my house for a party, and I walked up to him, I was like, hey, I totally stole this
I,
from you, and he's
I
like, I
remember
know
that
you did.
conversation too. I
Yeah.
remember that conversation too. The Isley brothers recently came out, and Ron Isley even said, you know, we're one of the most sampled groups.
Yeah.
James Brown, one of the most sampled I mean, music is
Yeah.
one of those things. It transcends, right? Like in it, if there are songs now that I say to myself, if I had been an artist, that would have been the song that I would have loved to have made, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
or even now, if I could redo a song, that would be the song that I would. And I think that's why Jamon and I did some of those rearrangements of some songs when COVID was happening, because there were songs that I was like, I love that song, and if I could remake it, I would do it. And that was the opportune time for me to kind of do it. And I mean, I just fell in love with that. But I gotta say this, because I think the other reason that I picked Can We Talk, I remember being in kindergarten. That's when that song was popular. I was in kindergarten when that song came out. And I remember looking at my best friend at the time. His name is Kenneth Williams. Kenneth, if you ever watched this, I shouted you out. Fish know Kenneth. My boy Jamal know my boy Kenneth. But Kenneth Williams looked at me one day, and I looked at Kenneth back, and I said, look, if you ever want to get a girlfriend, Kenneth, in kindergarten, this was me in kindergarten. Kenneth, if you ever want to get a girlfriend, all you have to do is walk up to her and say, can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name.
And to this day, he's still trying to get a girlfriend with that line.
But I think the bad part is that a lot of music has gone so far from that aspect in some cases. Like nothing is subliminal anymore. Like you said, Nando, that song was stalkerish, but we didn't think of it as
Yeah,
stalkerish.
right.
Now they'll come out and say, I'm stalking you, I'm stalking you, I'm stalking you. They don't care. They don't care. Anything else need to be said? This was fun. I'm sorry if I got carried away and I started singing everybody's songs.
That's what our music episodes are for. Is for
I
fun.
apologize to the audience. I hope that you all found a song that brought back memories for you, though, and hopefully some great memories. And you actually sang along with us as we were singing. I think this was a phenomenal episode. It's a phenomenal episode for a variety of reasons, right? Like it allowed us to think back to our childhoods or even to times past. But hopefully it also was able to bring people together to reminisce about good times and not think about everything else that's going on in the world. We're living in a time where there's so much division. And the man experience is always going to come to hopefully bring people together, right? Like to have discussions, and sometimes those discussions will be hard. Sometimes those discussions will be like this and be fun. But in all that we do and all that we say, we're not here to divide or anything of that nature. We're here to hopefully inspire, and also hopefully in the same token, be able to bring people together for healthy conversations. Because we're not going to agree on everything. There are times my brother Nando calls me out, and I appreciate it.
And we still don't agree about Mayweather and Pacquiao, so we just don't even talk
we
about
had
it
a
anymore.
whole listen, we had a whole conversation around that where I feel like my brother Nando stopped talking in the chat because he was like, I'm not doing it no more.
I felt like we were just like this, just over and over.
And we got to a point where we were not going to agree to disagree. We were just going to leave it at that. And the bad part about it was that Blake got the blunt of it because it was a conversation that us three were having, and Blake was kind of like just watching it as it was going on. But I think the cool thing about it is that, you know, we can have these discussions, and not only can we have these discussions, but even afterwards and after we have these discussions, and if we don't agree on certain things, that at the end of the day, we're still friends. And that's really what the world needs right now, is the fact that, you know, there's so much division. We're not going to agree on everything, and that's okay. Right? Like unless your belief really truly is one of those where it's out there and it impedes on my ability to be a human being, you know, I'm not here to take that from you. We can learn from each other, right? Like and I think that's important. So with that being said, that's all I got to say. Fellas, anything else you want to add? This was fun.
You know, it was fun. And honestly, we're so in sync with that because I had this whole message planned out for this episode specifically, and you kind of took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, no, it's all right. It's all right. But the main point I was going to make was try to remember who you were before politics became a team sport.
Woo.
That's a good, yeah.
Woo. I love it, bro. I love it. I do. Blake, you got something? Fish? Anybody? All right. Well, we will see you all on our next episode. And I think I got that episode title, if I'm not mistaken. That episode is actually called, hold on, bear with me. That episode is actually called Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. And it is
James Brown.
It is Fish's episode where he poses the question. James Brown, another singer. But Fish's episode where he basically poses the question. Correct me if I'm wrong, Fish, but it's if you could do something for an entire year, what would it be? Is that?
Yeah.
So if there was something new that you could do for an entire year, what would it be? So to our audience, we want you to be thinking about that as well. I love the interaction in today's episode. It was mostly from my sisters, Andrea and Stephanie. But I loved it that they chimed in. And so we'll see you next time on our next episode, which will be on April 7th. So we got a couple of weeks. See you April 7th. We love y'all. Thank you as always. Peace.
think so. We haven't gone to them.